And this is a scoop, by the way. So let's see how quickly you can get this out.
Matt Aguilar here from ComicBook.com. And today I have the pleasure of speaking to TNA superstar Joe Hendry. I believe, good sir. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. Thank you so much for making the time. I appreciate it. It's been a play. You've been everywhere. I see you, feel like I see you everywhere now, even popping up at Comic-Con in announcements that we'll get to here in a minute. First off, congratulations on all the success. You had a killer match at Slammiversary. And kind of starting there, I know things didn't obviously go the way you planned, and much of that had to do with Josh Alexander doing some things that no one really saw coming from him. I guess, it was such a great showing and there was so much positive feedback from the Slammiversary match. How are you feeling now, kind of a little bit removed from it, both about the match itself and kind of being in that top star mix, as well as what happened with Josh?
Yeah, I'm pretty frustrated. I mean, look, if I was Josh Alexander, and I'm in his shoes, yeah, taking out Joe Hendry is probably the way to go because that's what you need to do to get attention at the moment. So you know what? There's a target on my back. I really thought that Slammiversary was my night. I think the fans felt it was my night. I think everybody in the back felt it was my night. And yeah, Josh Alexander cheap shotted me. And so now Nick Nemeth is the champion. All due respect to Nick Nemeth, but Joe Hendry is the face of TNA. End of story.
Well, and you've very much been, carrying that, kind of being, TNA's ambassador everywhere, even, after Slammiversary, right? The work being done in WWE NXT has been supremely well received. You got the crowd eating out of the palm of the hand. So also congrats on the concert. That was a delight as well. That crowd response and um the kind of loyalty that you've built up, especially like over this past like year and a half. What is that kind of like to experience? Because, everyone knows what it's like being kind of trying to find that, trying to discover that and build that. And then when you're at a place where like you go out and that pop is there. Like, what does that feel like? That's got to be a cool feeling wherever you go.
Absolutely. I mean, I've been extremely fortunate. I'm very grateful to TNA and WWE because TNA have allowed me to explore different avenues to build my brand and therefore help lift TNA's brand as well. I think that I've had a very good collaborative working relationship with TNA. So when I bring something to them that I'd like to do, or even they'll bring something to me that they maybe think I could do, I think that myself and TNA have an opportunity to do like historic business for the company. This is what I've always wanted to do in professional wrestling is to have a spot like this, a spot that can help build the company, that can sell tickets, that can bring eyeballs to the product, that can just to make a positive contribution. So I'm very grateful that TNA are putting me in a position to do that. And I'm also very grateful that WWE have welcomed me with open arms as well. So TNA have they have worked collaboratively with WWE to bring us to a situation where right now, and this is a scoop, by the way, so let's see how quickly you can get this out. But we now have a situation where TNA are working with WWE. So I am a TNA wrestler who is appearing on NXT, and I'm training full time at the Performance Center as well. So that is an unprecedented situation, and it's one I'm very grateful for. Not only that, because of the way this is all set up, I'm still able to do signings and independence. So you've got someone at this stage in my career where I'm able to appear on TNA Wrestling. I'm able to appear on NXT. I'm training at the Performance Center, and I'm doing indies and signings as well. So right now it's given me an opportunity to be, one of the busiest wrestlers in the world, building my brand. And I believe that I'm doing, I'm trying my best to do good business for all companies that are involved.
Yeah, that's I mean, unprecedented is the right word. And there's also, I mean, Samantha Irvin is announcing name at live things, and then also you're going to be back in Tampa this weekend for
Yeah.
TNA. So I mean, yeah, like the journey never stops, but it's really cool uh how much they're working together. That's just a really cool thing to see in wrestling, period. I think it's a boon for fans, but it's also got to be a boon for the talent as well. And speaking of returning to Tampa, that's the first time TNA's been there in quite a while. For you, do you have any kind of rooted memories last time in Florida and the world of wrestling for you that sticks out, kind of be fun to return to?
Yeah, absolutely. I have fond memories of Tampa. I've spent time there training with Natalia and Tyson Kidd, and that they've also made such a positive contribution to my progression as a professional wrestler. I've trained with Ace Steel here in Orlando. Obviously, there's what I'm doing here at NXT. I wrestled Matt Cardona in Florida when I was the TNA Digital Media Champion. Thankfully, PCO has that title now. For God's sake, thank. Yeah, I'm just so thankful that AJ Francis is no longer the champion. That we need to get PCO a custom belt, because the things that AJ Francis has done to that poor belt on social media, we need to get that sorted. We need to get PCO just a fresh belt. Just the one that AJ Francis had needs torched and replaced. Uh, but yeah, I've got very fond memories of Florida. Also, just even like on a personal level, like I'm really good friends with. I'm actually, I remember I went to Universal Studios, so that I had fond memories of that. I had I don't typically drink. I'll usually have like one beer every 6 months, but I thought, you know what, you have to have a beer at Moe's Tavern. So that there you go. There's a personal memory.
Amazing. You brought up someone's name, and that's actually a perfect segue because Matt Cardona.
Yeah.
This is a big deal in any I feel like in professional wrestling, it's just one of those one of those milestone moments is getting your first action figure. And you are now officially part of the Major Bendy's line, getting that first figure. What does that feel like? Because I don't know if you've actually like had a chance to actually like get it in hand yet. I know it's just announced, so maybe not. But what is that moment like?
Oh, it's awesome. It's very cool. And look, listen, um, he is Edge's, but I owe Matt Cardona quite a lot here, because despite our rivalry, this man would not stop. He was telling me, get a pro wrestling tease, get this, get that, get this, get that. He was telling me all the stuff to do. And I was like, yeah, I know, I'm just super busy right now. And it's kind of like when I releasing the song, I thought one day I was like, man, I'm just going to have to do this one day. So we got the pro wrestling tease set up, and my shirt within 5 days became the best selling wrestler shirt of the year on Pro Wrestling Tees. So I owe Matt Cardona one. So we're now in a situation where I'm doing an action figure where we're going to be able to put some money in his pocket, a little bit of money in my pocket, and I think we're going to be able to bring them on the road with TNA as well. So again, doing great business for everybody. That's the goal.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, TNA recently announced their, Power Town Ultra set of figures as well, and those
Yeah.
are that first wave is coming. So just gotta make
Let
sure
me
to
just
get
stop
you
you
in
there.
that
Let me
mix
just stop you
too.
there. Let me just stop you there, right? You remember Power Rangers?
Yes,
Yeah, you remember
absolutely.
like you had like the five Power Rangers, awesome, right? Then the Green Ranger shows up. I'm the Green Ranger of TNA wrestling, right? So they've got their Power Town series. They just announced a Joe Hendry Power Town figure. That's the way to think of me, right? I get my own Megazord. There you
Oh
go.
my God, that's yeah. Oh man, yeah. Well, you're speaking my language, man. You
Yeah.
get the dragon sword. Yeah, that's right. That's how it works.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and it's funny because moving quickly back to NXT because the concert was, you know, the song and everything was on point. Some great Shawn Michaels references, Touch Mantel, getting some love there. But the kilt Booker T really took away like social media. That thing blew up pretty quick. Putting that whole process together, like what is your process and kind of like putting these kinds of things together? You know, do people know ahead of time that they're going to be mentioned? Is that a complete surprise? What is
Well,
that process for you?
so Booker T had no idea, and I wanted it that way. I was very, very adamant about the fact that Booker T cannot find out about this until the live broadcast, because like me and Booker have got this little rivalry going on where Booker just seems to not be the biggest fan of me, which is sad because Booker T was one of my favorites when I was younger. His segment with Gold Dust, they're in the hotel room, is an all timer, an all time segment. You know, I actually prefer that one to Stone Cold in the supermarket, but yeah, so Booker T isn't my biggest fan, so I just decided to steer into it, and that's the thing. If you you know pick a fight with Joe Hendry, even on commentary, it's I'll just keep coming. I'll just keep coming. So I asked, you know, if this is something we could do, and then I said, hey, if Booker just happens to see this for the first time during the broadcast, that'd be pretty cool. So when I turn around and look at Booker, that is a genuine smile because I know he had no idea that that was coming.
That's amazing. That's so good. And
But so,
also
do you know those moments? Those are the things that translate to the audience, you know, because that is fun. I was like, we need Scottish Booker T. We just need Scottish Booker T.
and you know one of the best parts is that Vic Joseph then turns to him and is like, "So, what do you gotta say?" And it's just like speechless. Can't even
Well,
form
I didn't notice
words.
this until after the fact, but when I'm getting my kicked by Gallus, Vic Joseph says, "Hey, you're the president of the fan club. You should be doing something." I'm gonna need to
It's
get my
the
badge or a T-shirt or something like that. You know?
yes, that's it's oh my God, please. Okay, if Booker T fan club management shirt ends up somewhere, I will cop
Yeah,
that immediately.
yeah.
Um, you know, to move in to TNA, you know, because of what happened with Josh and you know, you're going to speak on this and obviously some amount of payback is probably coming, some sort of receipt for what happened there. But you know, what are you looking at as far as your kind of next goal in TNA? Because, like you said, Nick Nemeth is the champ now, but you know, you were right there. And what is kind of your next goal for that? Is it to go right back
Look,
after that title? Is it to take a minute and deal with Josh? How is that going for you?
I'll any opportunity I get to smack Josh around, absolutely. You know, I'll take that because Josh knows for a fact that I can beat him up. It's just as simple as that. You know, when my when he isn't kicking me in the nuts, you know what? Fair play to him. If I'm Josh and I'm looking at Joe Hendry, who's a two-time national champion, and has the strength that I do, you know what? Maybe if I was in his situation, I'd probably have to think about kicking him in the nuts as well. But you know what? Like I say, we'll get to Josh. But I actually don't know what the road is. But I will tell you this: is that I am the face of TNA. There's some people who don't like that. There's some people that upsets. There's some people who, when they close the door to their apartment and they lock the door and they start to bubble and the tears start to drop down their face, that that's the case. But that is the fact. Look at the metrics. I am the face of TNA. Nick Nemeth is one of the best in-ring performers to ever lace up a pair of boots. But you just don't bet against Joe Hendry. That title is mine and he's keeping it warm for me. I'm going after the TNA World Championship. All the cool stuff that's happening, it's awesome. You know, it's amazing. I'm achieving my dream. But it's time for me to take what is mine, and that's the TNA World Championship.
And before I let you go, I know you gotta get out of here, and I sincerely appreciate the time. The next, was teased up last night that you will be at Great American Bash Week 2, kind of looking for some payback there as well after your performance was rudely interrupted and
Mm-hmm.
crashed by Gallus. And Joe Coffey is kind of going to be the focal point of that because as you noted, he's the ringleader, right? It all kind of follows him. Um, you know, when you're dealing with a group like that, it is helpful to have a couple people in your corner. Have you already, thought about bringing some reinforcements to make sure that thing doesn't get interrupted? And what can you tease about that match coming up next week?
Look, I've been a lone soldier my entire career. That's, how many times I've had the opportunity to be part of groups and things like that. I think I've done it like once. I've been in like sort of odd couple tag teams that I've had fun with here and there, but like I've always, I've always been by myself, and I've kind of always wanted it that way. Um, there are drawbacks to that because then you're in situations where you do have gals and it's a 3-on-1 situation. Maybe that is something I do need to think about. Um, I'll say this: we're in a period of time in wrestling where anything can happen. Nothing is going to shock me at this point. Nothing is going to shock me. So you know what? I will make my way to the ring, knowing full well that Gallus could jump me at any point. Anything can happen in the world of professional wrestling. You think it really did someone tweeted yesterday and there was an image of me with the guitar on NXT and behind me there's Shawn Michaels in his chef hat on the Tron. And someone tweeted and said, if you'd have told me that this image was real like 3-4 months ago, you can't write. There's anything could happen. Literally anything or anyone could show up. You just don't know. You just got to watch and see how this plays out. And remember, there is a collaboration between TNA and NXT. Who knows? Maybe Gallus made the mistake of trying to attack me in my territory. Maybe I've got allies there. Maybe you just don't know. You just don't know. That's what's so exciting about this. Wrestling is at its best when anything can happen.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a joy. All the best success moving forward. Can't wait to see what this week and next week holds for you. And I feel like before long we'll be seeing that title gold draped around your shoulder. So all the best, man.
Absolutely. Thank you.